Welcome and thank you for tuning in to Cryptids, Creeps, and Conspiracy. The following content may involve explicit language and materials, so listener discretion is advised.
All right, everyone, welcome back with me again for the last leg of the Tokoloshe / Goblins of Zimbabwe. Is Miss Liz from Ouch, Was That a Ghost? Normally I leave the door open, but I think since if you're listening, check out the description because there's going to be shit on there. It's going to be awesome. Check it out. We're going to try to remember. So normally we record all these back to back. We kind of had some stuff happen and there's been a gap. We've been podcast hermits. We've been busy little bees. And haven't had a chance. So after the first 2 episodes that we recorded same day or back to back, we got to try to remember. So I remember part 1, we talked about what is a goblin, right? Some of the background. What do they look like? We've also covered, the suitcases. That's what it was in the first episode, was Suitcase City. And where they just kept popping out of suitcases. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a genie in a bottle, goblin in a suitcase. Who knows? Pipe in a crepe. Sorry. Powers is the bomb.
Powers yes. It's like I know that, but I don't know from where.
A waffle, pipe in a crepe. But and then we had it got a little sketchy.
Yeah, the son that couldn't afford hookers, but somehow was getting them constantly.
Yes, so there's that one, and that's the twerking Tokoloshe. So we had that one. Yeah, getting a little booty action. And those are the highlights, I think. So if you want to hear the more details, definitely go check out part 1 and part 2. And it'll be great. I'm still really nervous about this audio thing because I can't hear myself. So hopefully it comes out good in the wash. If not, we might just have to redo. So far, it's been okay, though.
So
hoozle.
Recap: suitcase, hookers, twerk.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay.
And then the one, they just lit the son of a bitch on fire. But anyway, we don't want to give away all the details. Go listen. Give me some listens. Give us some love. We're just going to go ahead and dive into part 3 here. And these notes, I did them a while ago, so this might be new to me too. So if I seem a little surprised while I'm reading, it's genuine. This is really good. This is how it starts. These creatures do more than twerk and give stellar blowjobs. In 2012, women in a particular village had a whole different issue of their own. The problem at hand even convinced Zimbabwe chief to put out what was similar to a press conference when he stated, quote, "Desist from evil practices," end quote. Yeah, I know, it's really vague, isn't it? This warning was sent out after 26 women of the village reported going to bed covered, but waking up with their breeches stolen right off their sleeping bodies.
26 people didn't feel anything coming off their body?
Panty snatcher, yeah. Just maybe they sleepwalk? I don't know.
Did they report anything else happening or just that the panties were missing?
Just missing panties. So far that I got.
No probing.
I don't think so. Maybe they just really wanted the panty.
Okay.
I don't know. Upon searching the town for the bewitched bloomers, they were all found tossed in a random group of bushes. Maybe Harold the Hobo. Go check out Ouch, Was That a Ghost episode. What episode is it?
Diane Downs.
I don't know what the number is, but
I don't know it either.
Go check it out and you will get the Harold the Hobo joke. Throwback. Some of the women took back the potentially possessed panties, although I'm not really sure who the hell would want them back after knowing or not knowing what was done with them or how they got to the bushes. The smarter of the women were concerned their stolen panties may have been used during some mischievous mystical mayhem, decided to light those sons of bitches ablaze. So it was like instead of burn the bras, it was like burn the stolen panties and freedom. And yeah.
I have so many questions. What does she think was used? She thinks that a female Tokoloshe put them on?
Well, okay.
Or
now think, you don't know what's going on. 26 women have their panties stolen in the middle of the night. It could be a total nasty creeper that's doing Lord knows what with those panties. Either one, wearing them, and good God knows what that thing's carrying around when it's wearing them, male or female. Or maybe it was using it as I really don't know how to put this in a less disgusting way. A makeshift tissue during an act of something. I think that's enough information that
Self-play?
you guys can use your imagination there. The torquing Tokoloshe.
But they were all put in the same spot.
And then they were all
So
tossed in the bushes. Yeah.
you would assume that it was done by one person,
Mm-hmm.
or like you said, a group activity, and they all went to collect them, and they were like, "All right, we're done," and they all piled them in together like the trash.
Even if it was one person, it doesn't say how soon after they found him. It could have been a week, in which case, I mean, if it's like me, I mean, I could probably rack up 26 of those in a week, right? Or like, what if they're wearing them around, or like wearing them to the gym, or like wearing them and taking pictures? Like, you don't know what these people are doing with these panties. Would you put them back on?
I definitely would not. I'm just trying to figure out what their journey was
I
from
would
the woman to the bush. Like what? The woman to the bush. That didn't sound very good.
Well, my brain. Okay, for once, my brain was not dirty. I literally was thinking like from woman to Mick Dundee, like the bush of like Australia. That's where I was going. I was like, damn. I mean, it is in Zimbabwe, right? It's a whole mystery. I would probably wash them in acid. I would never touch those sons of bitches again. I'm totally all for the panty blaze.
Yes.
However, the chief, known as, I'm going to try this, Njili, I think is how you pronounce that, came to the conclusion that magic may have been involved because he was conversing about the incident. He saw an owl swoop down and snatch a whole ass adult dog. Not really sure that equals witchcraft, but who am I to judge?
So how does an owl taking a dog equate to panties coming off of women that don't feel it while sleeping?
I don't know. That's just how the guy was like, oh, witchcraft. I don't know. Maybe the rules are a little bit different. Maybe there might be some sort of cultural or some kind of belief, maybe associated with like a witch doctor, the sagomas that they were talking about that you have to summon them. Maybe there's some correlation with owls. I don't know.
Okay.
That's all I got. But then things got even more weird. When a 62-year-old man by the name of Mr. Lamech took responsibility for the chaos, stating that he was in command of the panty snatching Tokoloshe. Yeah, we'll dive a little deeper into this far-fetched fable in just a minute, but we can take a second there and just be like not that the 62-year-old man stole the panties. It was the 62-year-old man owned the Tokoloshe that stole the panties.
But what would be worse? Tokoloshe's doing it on their own, or a 62-year-old man getting your panties?
Okay, so I'm gonna just do a little disclaimer here. In 5 or 6 years, my husband's gonna be 62.
But it's not your husband. This is a random man.
No, here. So I'm thinking, just from my viewpoint, because now if I was, say, 18, 19, 20, and a 62-year-old man, I'd be like, but given the fact that it could very easily be my husband stealing my panties, I'm cool with it. Maybe he's a really hot 62-year-old man. I like them silver foxes. You cannot see what's happening. Go subscribe to the Patreon page because the face I am getting right now is priceless.
It's just...
I can see the wheels turning. I can see them. They're in there. I can just
because I'm just like picturing
it out. Yeah.
A 62-year-old with his trench coat that goes around flashing people, and he's the one getting your panties. That's what I'm picturing. I'm not picturing like this handsome 62-year-old man. I'm just picturing like a creep with a comb over, just like hunched over, just Jeffrey Dahmer glasses. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. So this is where we differ because I'm picturing this like dapper, silver fox, and I'm like, ooh, daddy, like you don't have to steal them. I will give them to you. Take them with your teeth. Like
for the Monopoly man.
Oh, you just killed it. Well, that's a boner buzzkill. All right. The anti-boner. Awesome.
That's what I'm here for.
Okay. Well, anywho, after the treacherous Tokoloshe was identified as the culprit, Chief Njili immediately approached the local police force for permission to hire a traditional healer to come and do a cleansing ceremony for the whole town and rid them of the tiny tyrant. With the approval, because I don't know how to do grammar, the healer and a prophet began the ceremony to cleanse the village. During the ritual, things got even more bizarre as villagers had to go before the healer and the prophet to essentially testify. Here we go. Oh my God. The 25th villager to appear before the men was known as Nkumbe. I think is how you pronounce that. Sorry, I'm really
Sounds
not very
good.
South African, but I think it's probably close. And he actually confessed to owning what he referred to as the menacing, quote unquote, goblin. Nkumbe claimed that he actually obtained this capricious critter many moons ago to try to change his streak of bad luck. The goblin was purchased in a place called Chikari near Kadoma. No idea where that's at, but in case you want to know, there it is. And here's what he had to say about it. Quote, right? All right.
Wait, can I ask one quick question?
Oh, yeah.
Did he purchase it in a suitcase?
Maybe he brought it back in a suitcase.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
I don't know. Suitcase not included. I'm really not sure. Like Mattel or whatever those toys are. But he says, quote, when I bought this goblin, my purpose was to try and have luck in my life. I also wanted to get promoted at my work as well as acquiring health. But when I later retired, I then learnt that the goblin had not performed to my expectations. End quote. So that sounds like a customer unsatisfactory review. Like 1 star on Amazon. Goblins on, whatever you're going to call it. Tokoloshe. But he then explained that it began acting, again, quote, hostile and weird, end quote. It even got so out of hand that it started slutting around with these local women. Now, it does not specify as to which tier of the village these women were. Just women. It could have been the higher ups. It could have been, your average housewife villager, your whatever we called them in the other episode that was for sex worker. I don't know. It just says women. What I'm wondering is, why would the goblin go from being totally chill and even hanging out with the family to like a total monster, right? And shout out again. I think I shout these guys out on like every fucking episode, but no shame. The guys on Kryptonite Podcast, love them all. Hi guys. Brought up the fact that maybe the goblin has an expiration date, like milk, and they just go sour. Maybe
It's just like their midlife crisis.
yeah, it's like they fulfill. And now, granted, the guy did say something about he retired, so if he got the Tokoloshe to help him with luck and get him a promotion and all of that stuff, but then he retires. Maybe that retiring is significant because then it's like, okay, Tokoloshe, your job's up. Kind of like when you give the sock to Dobby or Dobby or whatever the fuck that thing's name is.
Yeah.
You free it. And it's like, yeah, like let's go party hard. And it just like hits up all the women.
But that might be back to what I don't know if it was episode 1 or 2 when we talked about that one just like running rampant. Maybe it's when you fulfill your purpose, because we didn't know if it was when the person dies that owned him and then he just goes nuts. But maybe it is when your purpose is fulfilled, you can just go slutting around. Is that what you said?
Yeah. It's like, just imagine being like, excuse me. Like I get a call. Natasha, this is your great uncle
Herschel.
Lou's attorney. He has since passed. I know that you're estranged and you may not even know he exists, but you're in his will. So we need you to come down and claim your prize. So I'm like, okay. I got to go to like, I don't know, New Jersey. And I don't know what. Anyway, Lou from New Jersey. Oh my gosh. Big Lou. Another shout out. Sorry. But I go all the way over there and they're like, okay, well, would you like to know what you got from your great Uncle Lou? And I'm like, yeah. And I hold my hand out. I'm like, yeah, give me that check, baby. Give me that money. And they usher in a suitcase. And they open the suitcase and out pops this Tokoloshe. And it's like, hello. Wait, they don't talk. But
He just starts swinging panties around.
yeah, it's like helicopter. And I'm like, again, can I return this? And it's a freaking Tokoloshe. Ugh. But after all of this got situated, an unnamed police officer had to step in and separate a growing mob of villagers whose wives were in the Tokoloshe's lay list, threatening to kick Nkumbe's ass.
But it wasn't
So-
even his fault if his Tokoloshe went rogue.
But it's his Tokoloshe, so it's his problem.
Those ladies spread their legs. Deal with your girls.
True. I mean, unless it's like a Tokoloshe assault situation.
Oh my gosh.
But I feel like that would have been brought to the attention of the police before this point if that was the case. So we'll just
Yeah.
assume that it's all consensual. We're consensual on the Cryptids, Creeps, and Conspiracy Compound
Okay.
podcast. Oh my compound. Fuck, I'm starting a fucking cult. Woo. Sorry, you could tell it's been a long day. So oh my gosh, I totally read this wrong. The Naanga, or healer, along with 6 sidekicks, had to halt the ceremony as they went with Nkumbe to his humble abode. So it was like, shit's getting crazy. Let's stop, like regroup, and go back to this guy's house. Once they arrived, Nkumbe informed the posse that they would probably find the goblin in his fuck-sucking son's room because he allowed him to stay in there. So this is the thing I just mentioned earlier, thinking we covered it in 2, but we didn't. This is a different guy. 2 was the guy that got all the sex workers. And this is the other one. So anyway, so they're like, hey, if you can't find him, check my son's room. They might be playing Call of Duty. Just chilling in a beanbag chair. I don't know. Eat Cheetos. So here's my thing. Would you allow a panty plundering slut goblin to live in a room with your son?
I wouldn't. The son was the one that has no money but gets prostitutes every night, right?
This is different. No.
Oh, this is a different one.
This is another gentleman who got the thing. So the other one, the goblin didn't live with him. It was the goblin showed up, was sucking the D. He got excited, then, we went into the whole sex worker thing. And then he just couldn't get it to stop. This one is the man got the Tokoloshe. It went sour, but it lived in the family and like roomed with the son. Like they were just chill, like they were brothers.
How old was the son?
It does not specify.
That's very different if it's like a 40-year-old versus
But
like a 13-year-old.
Now you got to assume. So I'm assuming, I know it's bad, but the guy got the Tokoloshe a while ago, right? Long enough for it to be like, now he's retired. So I'm insinuating there's a time gap. Either way, the child was there already. So he might have been maybe, I don't know, younger or a teen when they got it. And maybe now it's like the kid's at home. So he's got to be a late teens. I mean, unless he's just a bum.
Yeah, I wouldn't let him near my kids, but that's me.
Yeah, that's me too. I'm totally like once you start stealing panties, game's over. But suddenly, chaos ensues when the witch hunters were said to capture the creature and bring it out for everyone to see. So I don't know how they got it, but they wrangled this motherfucker and they just drug it out for everybody to look at. And everyone agreed the creature appeared to be alive and rocking a sexy pair of blue women's thongs.
So he was just wearing them. He was like, I don't want to do laundry. I'm just going to take all these women's panties. And I got like over 3 weeks worth. And when I'm done, I'll just throw them in the bushes.
Well, here's the thing. Is the one so those are already in the bushes. This is after they find all the ones in the bushes. They then go to this man's house. They go in, they wrangle this Tokoloshe. They pull him out for the entire village, like total annihilation of social standards. To be like, look at this monster. And then you turn around, he's got like little butt cheeks and a little thong on. Like,
was he packing at least back there?
Now, remember, we did talk about the goblins are supposed to have these like huge slongs. So I
have so many perverted questions. I'm keeping them to myself.
Go for it. Hit me.
I'm just like, did he tuck it back? Is it like hanging out a little bit? Is it just like bulging? Because if the thongs aren't that big in the front, you don't have much wiggle room to move. Like you can pop out as a female. So imagine being in a male situation, unless they're male panties. But where is he getting male thongs?
Banana hammock. But I was thinking like spiral, like a pigtail corkscrew to like wheel that thing in, like a fire hose, right?
So there's like nothing in there and it's just
oh,
like mush.
Yeah, that's wrong. I mean, you couldn't tuck it. I mean, because it'd be like tuck it, and it'd be like up over. I don't even know. I don't know. Anyway, I just know the
Okay.
Tokoloshe was wearing these little blue panties.
Okay.
The crowd
With the
showed
cheeks
even-
out.
Yeah, I just imagine these little bubble cheeks.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, almost like what I would imagine is under a Smurf's pants. That's what I'm picturing.
Papa Smurf.
Like a little Papa Smurf bubble butt. The crowd then showed even more shock and awe when the wife of the village, like the head honcho,
Hmm.
named Miss Sylvia Marumbe, spoke up and announced that those were her fuck-sucking panties. That like busted red-handed. Wait a minute, those are my damn panties. Can you imagine?
I would not claim them. I'd be like, I don't know who those are.
Well, but what they're like her prized panties? Just, motherfucker stole my
Those are my Vickies.
God, that's $30 on those things. Check the tag. There's initials.
Oh my
But
gosh.
yeah. But can you imagine? I mean, now think the whole village is out looking at, and they finally drag it out. And I'm just picturing them like they got it by the arm or the head. There's something. They're just dragging it, heels going. And they whip it out. And then all of a sudden, everyone's looking. And the head honcho's wife is like, wait a minute, those are my panties. Yeah, I don't even know. Like, to me, it just adds to it that it's hers. And
Oh,
not
100%.
anyone else. It's hers. And he's just like, oh, shit. You know? And like, my bad. Do you want them back? But she then goes on to say that during the panty plundering period, she had lost a pair of undies and could not figure out what happened to them. So not that they were stolen off of her, just that they had been misplaced. And she did not know where they went.
And he was like, I like her style. I'm going
Nice
back there to get
cover-up,
another
right?
pair.
Yeah. So the group then decided to take the goblin and burn it for everyone to see.
Damn.
Like a goblin witch hunt. Then 8 women from 2 separate villages were able to identify their underwear during the panty raid. Ding dong, the goblin's dead, panties have been claimed, and all is right with the world.
So he
And
was
that-
traveling village to village.
Mm-hmm. He's getting around.
Huh.
But that wraps up our 3-part saga. I know it was a little quick, only half an hour, but I just had to tell a story and I didn't want it to merge in with everything else. So I kept it off to the side just because to me it was so comical, I guess. and I'm thinking, you know, they go and they drag this guy out. Then they would have had to have raided this poor man's house. Now, granted, he did invite the people over to extinguish, I guess would be a good word, the Tokoloshe. So maybe they found, oh my gosh. Okay, hold on, hear me out. He straight up admits that the Tokoloshe is probably in his son's room. So they go in, they find the Tokoloshe. And the first place they look when searching this house is the son's room. And they then find a hoard of panties in the son's room. How do we know it was the Tokoloshe and not the son?
Is it possible for the commanding to go from within different people in the family? Or only the father could command the Tokoloshe?
So I'm not 100%. It didn't really specify. I know that generally it's like one person kind of asks for it, gets it created, and they take control of it. I don't know if they could relinquish control or do like a dual control, I guess, of the Tokoloshe.
Because I wonder if the son was really the perv, or the Tokoloshe's like, let me play Call of Duty and I'll go bring you some panties. And he's like, all right.
All right, hold on. Hear me out. Okay. He gets the Tokoloshe because he wants good luck and he wants a promotion in his job. The son doesn't exist yet. Son's born. Then, in the time frame it takes for the man to then reach retirement age, he retires. By that time, the son is now hitting puberty and starting to be interested in the panties. And then it starts a whole different thing.
Yeah, I feel like the son had something to do with it.
We can rewind that. So the guy was 62. The guy who has the Tokoloshe is 62 years old. So assuming he had a kid when he was 40, I don't know what that's like, but still, it's like a 20-year-old kid. I mean, that's not even a kid, that's an adult.
That's not unheard of, though. A lot of people have kids at 40, especially men,
I feel
because
like
his wife could be younger.
true. But that does kind of rule out the whole kid hit puberty and suddenly panties are a thing. Unless it's like he's got some kind of weird mental thing going on and he's at the age now where he's about to get kicked out of his house and then he's all stressed out and so he turns into a klepto.
Or maybe he's been doing it for years and this is the first time he got caught.
I know, but
Did they check under his mattress?
Oh.
Teenage
I mean,
boys
it
and
might-
just
they-
boys' mattresses are gross.
Yeah, they might have bricks under him, so it might be easy to find. Remember
Could
we
be.
talked about the bricks under
Yeah,
the-
they
under
can't
the
go
bed?
near that.
Yeah, I just can't get past the why the Tokoloshe. I would say maybe it's a son, but they're saying that they went in and they had a creature, an actual physical creature that they drug out wearing a pair of panties in front of an entire village, and then they lit the bitch up. I mean, they just burned his ass,
It's so messed up.
which apparently. I mean, we talked about getting rid of the Tokoloshe. You have to get it cleansed, and you got to have like the witch guy and the healer and then the blah blah blah. But it looks like you could just light it on fire. I mean, they lit the one in the police office or police station on fire.
Yeah, didn't they
Mhm.
make like a cocktail, the Molotov cocktail, and just like throw it at him or something?
No. So he was in a bottle. So when they opened, it was like a suitcase.
Oh,
They
yes.
opened the suitcase. There was like the bottle, and then he was like Swan Lake out of it. And that's all I could think of. It's like, you see like the blood flowing out like a fountain and he's like spinning in the air coming out. That's all I could picture.
Now all I
Um,
can picture is all of them in thongs, thanks to you. So I picture him swan laking it
doing
with
the
some thongs.
Oh my goodness. And then they have like the twerking section with the little tutus. Oh my God. Okay.
Yes.
I've got to make a Tokoloshe tutu. A Tokoloshe in a tutu.
You need Tokoloshe merch.
Oh yeah, we got to make this happen. But I got to figure it out. So I have to figure out what it looks like. So I think of this is going to be really funny. There's a show. I think I probably mentioned it in one of the other episodes. It's called Troll Hunter. I think it's on Netflix. It was on Netflix, and it's an animated series that my son just loved, and we watched all of. To be fair, I finished up the series without him because he lost interest, and I was like totally into it. So I finished it off. But in this, the troll people, there is a Tokoloshe. There's Tokoloshes in this thing. And so I have this visual of what their version of a Tokoloshe looks like. So that's kind of what I'm picturing in my head. But they do not have the seared out eyes and the hole in the head. They don't have, obviously it's a cartoon for kids, so that's not a thing. But they're like these green things that kind of look like Mike Wazowski. Only they actually have like a face and they have like these huge long like arms and then like feet and stuff. And they like steal babies and things.
But no panties.
It's kind of like a changeling, and the Tokoloshe's kind of like the same thing. It's weird. But yeah, I can't. All right. If you're down on your luck and you're looking and would you purchase a Tokoloshe?
I want to say no, but my curiosity would probably have me do it, not just get myself into trouble. That's what I usually do.
Yeah, I'm just kind of, I'm on the fence.
Wait, didn't you say that somebody dies?
Mm-hmm. You have to trade a soul for the Tokoloshe.
Yeah, then no, I wouldn't. I forgot about that part. Everything else with him is like chaotic enough. And I thought that that's what I was trading for. Then I just remembered the death thing.
Yeah, it's usually, and you, like I said, you don't know who soul, you don't know when, you don't know how, you don't know anything.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to, oh my gosh, so it's telling me I'm raising my hand because I'm like talking with my hands. Sorry, I just got like a little emblem at the bottom of my screen. I don't think that I would risk a Tokoloshe. Now, if I could pick a soul in exchange for the Tokoloshe, hell yeah. I want a Tokoloshe. It's going to cook. It's going to do my fucking laundry. It's going to do the cleaning. It's going to do everything. My grocery shopping. That motherfucker's going to be like Chef Boyardee. I mean, I just have to get him a little chair so he can stand in it because I don't think they're pretty small. So get him a little booster. And I think we can make that happen. Now, do you think that these Tokoloshes are real or no?
I want them to be, but I don't.
See, part of me is like, oh, this is such bullshit. But then there's that last account where I'm like, they brought something out that was alive. I mean, they said it clearly looked like it was alive. And then they fried it. But yeah, to each their own.
It might be this cute little creature of like monkey that's like super intelligent that we just don't know what they are. And they just follow commands and learn very easily. And they're just burning them just because they're wearing thongs. What?
Well, that raises another question. Who put the thong on the monkey? Oh my God, that's like who put the tail on the dog? Oh, Jesus. Pin the thong on the monkey, everybody. 'Cause, I mean, well, why would you put a thong on a monkey? Did it have like a bikini top too? Did you like have like a whole like hula thing?
Well, remember, there's a teenage boy involved at some point, so that would be
Yeah.
humorous. So it might have just been a joke that went a little bit too far in a strange way. I don't know.
But if that's the case, then that monkey would have been in the family for a long time,
I don't know.
right?
Do you think that they're real?
I am not sure. In all honesty, like I said, I like to keep an open mind. I find it very difficult to believe that they are real, but I can see where something could happen. They could do this quote unquote ritual, kind of like a Frankenstein type situation where they have this lifeless body thing, whatever. They reinstitute life, well, quote unquote, life into it. And maybe it functions, but it doesn't have enough. Or maybe it's something that this is going to be horrible and morbid of me, but sorry, it is what it is. Something happens to these people, or a person. Maybe it's a little kid, maybe it's a dwarf, we don't know. And something happens to where like they get lobotomized. Like that is the process that these sangomas are taking, is a lobotomy that then makes them not function at full capacity, I guess would be a polite way to put it. And then they're just kind of like the zombie type state where they might, okay, think about it. So Dahmer, all right, so we're bringing crime into this. Dahmer drilled a hole in the kid's head, dropped acid in it. The kid got up, walked out of the apartment, down the stairs, around the corner to find those ladies, was functioning, like was able to move, but could not communicate with them, which would be similar to what I'm imagining this Tokoloshe doing. And it can't communicate, but it is able to walk around. So maybe, oh my gosh,
So
Jeffrey Dahmer was a Sangoma and he created the Tokoloshe.
So I agree with that part that is possible. Like if you lobotomize somebody, I mean, granted, it's probably, yeah, it's you're rolling the dice on what's going to happen. Yeah. But that still doesn't explain about the random death, like the life being taken. Unless they just account it to, okay, Aunt Sally died of a heart attack at 96. Yep. So they were like, oh, that's the life it took.
So, yeah, well, I mean, imagine it. I mean, so this is, you could die in a car accident 2 years ago and they would chalk it up to COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So what's to say that it's not, like you said, someone dies of a heart attack at 96. They're like, oh, they claim the soul for the Tokoloshe. I mean, especially if you're relying on not modern medicine, there's a lot of room for there might not be an explanation to what's happening. So they might not even realize, they don't know what a lobotomy is. They don't know what that process is. They just know that this person thing shows up. Oh my God, what, they're stealing dwarfs and drilling holes in their head.
That sucks.
That does suck. But they could be doing it. And the people might not even understand why, but it might be a functional thing. Just like there's a guy, I think in South Africa, he was literally a zombie. There's a picture of this man with his tombstone. He died, was pronounced dead. Supposedly the Sangoma dug him up, performed a ceremony, and you had to like feed them a certain thing or give them something every so often to keep them in that zombie-like state. And the guy, like 20 or 40 years later, comes back to the same like shopping area, kind of like a farmer's market, and finds his sister and is like, I'm back, here I am, blah, blah, and is telling his sister things that only the guy would know. And so he's letting her know these things to be like, hey, this is me. And she's like, prove it. Like, you've been dead. I know you were dead, blah, blah, blah. He's like, no, here's all this information to prove that I am who I say I am. She believes him. But apparently the guy said that there were multiple people like him on this plantation. So he was dug up. This guy did the ceremony. He was turned into a zombie and then forced to do manual labor on this plantation type house and property with other people like him. And what happened was he was getting this thing to keep him in the zombie-like state. But the man who was controlling all of the zombies died. So the people were not getting that thing to keep them in that zombie-like state. And so he was able to regain his consciousness and go back to where he was found.
He couldn't have really been dead then. They must have just been buried for a short time and possibly in a coma or something.
But yeah, I don't know. But what I'm saying is it's like something kind of similar like that. It's dead, and then it comes back to life. It's like a zombie.
Yeah.
Whatever. Maybe it's a similar thing with Tokoloshe, and they're just like, sprinkle this on him twice a day, like he's got a rash. Probably for all those thongs. Put the ointment on it, and it'll stay a Tokoloshe. And maybe the guy just ran out or something. I don't know.
Acid got expensive.
Yeah. Yeah.
MK Ultra, whatever one they used.
They stopped the experiments, and all of a sudden the prices went up. Supply and demand.
Yes. The economy's really rough.
Yeah.
Yep.
You had a bunch of Tokoloshe City over here. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But yeah, I do find it hard to believe, but I can, even though it does seem very out there, but on the other hand, with all of the experiments and crap that was even going on in like the 50s and the 60s in Germany, it's hard for me to not believe that it's possible. And you might think it only takes one time for it to be real.
Mm-hmm.
And then even in the police department, multiple witnesses. That's what I have a hard time with, is that there were multiple instances with multiple eyewitnesses to the account. So something happened. I just don't know necessarily if that's what it is.
Yeah, and the story, like you said, could have changed slightly as it's being retold, like a telephone.
But yeah, everybody, that is part 3 with the Zimbabwe Goblins. So thank you very much for sticking with us, and we hope you enjoyed it. Again, I know I'm going to put in the outro, but I know it's all, about me in the outro. So right now we're going to say, make sure you go over again, check the links. This is awesome. I love her pod. They're great. And I always get a kick out of like everything on there. And yeah, I always stalk you because I'm a creeper.
Oh, thank you.
But yeah, so check out our links, follow, listen, subscribe, rate, review, all of those good things to show me love. Also give her some love. And do you have anything that you want to tie up at the end before we check on out of here?
No, I think that's it. You're going to have to go have dinner, don't you?
Yep. All righty. Well, I'm going to go stuff my fat face, and I will be seeing you guys later. So until next time, see ya.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode. Please subscribe, rate, and review anywhere you listen. This is more beneficial than you may know and will help others locate the podcast. Don't forget to check out my Patreon page as well. We currently have 2 tiers. The Snallygaster tier that'll get you unedited bonus audio, a sticker, a shout out on the podcast, and access to the private Discord server. The second tier is the Phantom tier, and that'll get you all of the benefits of the Snallygaster tier, plus access to live streams and Q&A sessions, and is the only place you can access all video footage from regular episodes as well as the Patreon exclusive episodes. You can subscribe today at patreon.com/cryptids, creeps, and conspiracy. Don't forget to head over to the TeePublic website and take a look at a variety of merch options that are available. You can also find and follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Threads, TikTok, X, and YouTube. All of these links can be found in the description of this episode under the Linktree hyperlink. Until next time, my friends, dare to believe.